Good day. My name is Fahmi Al-Maouli and we are the Green Hydrogen Summit. With me is the CEO of the Oman Convention and Exhibition Center, Mr. Saeed Al-Shamfari. How do you do? Welcome to the show, and we are going to be answering questions orientated around green hydrogen, renewables, alternatives, and stuff like that. Do tell me, let's start with the journey. This is the second Green Hydrogen Summit that is happening, and they've had a relationship with you since last year. Could you tell us your experience with the summit and how you've seen it grown so far?
Honestly, we're very lucky to have this summit happening at the center. Last year, we've had around 4,000 square meter of the summit, which is not really a big hall comparing to what we have this year. This year, we have grown from 4,000 square meter to almost 12,000 square meter of space. That's equivalent to almost 1,000 participants from all over the world. What we have noticed from last year and this year, the number of participants have grown. We've seen a lot of international participation this year comparing to last year. People coming from a lot of places. We see a lot of hotels have been very busy also around the center, accommodating all those visitors from all over the world. We're lucky to have them all here in one place discussing an important subject like green hydrogen, especially after the announcement of His Majesty's plan to go zero carbon by 2050. That is a very ambitious plan, and that's a direction for us to go forward and see how can we all participate and be part of that strategy.
Okay, so you've mentioned it to us with the people and the size. What other attributes do you give to the exhibition's growth from last year to this year that you have seen from your insights?
From an outsider, I've seen the topics are more focused this year comparing to the subject we had last year. I think last year they were more on overview of subjects. This year there's more specific subjects. I see more specialized people in place. I see people are more interested to listen to what they have in terms of technology, updates, and targets around the world, and showcasing also different countries and different ambitions. I see a lot of discussions. I mean, even though we are not part of the day-to-day activities that's happening here personally, but I see a lot of side discussions, a lot of meetings happening in different places around the center, which tells me there's a lot of interesting and unfolding information that's been discussed inside and outside of the exhibition hall.
Wow, I really like that. Now, has anything of the exhibition and the summit actually come into the organization of the OCEC regarding renewables, alternatives, even hydrogen itself? I mean, there's a whole path that can be going on. People can be having jobs for the future or anything like that. What can you see happening with the OCEC and renewables and alternatives?
Environment and saving environment is a very important subject for us. Sustainability, green hydrogen, all of these are actually within our target and focus. We cannot claim to be a world stand venue if we're not part of the world motivation and movement towards zero carbon and green hydrogen. We as a center have been working very hard in the past 3 years, though we've had a bit challenging years of COVID, but we actually use the time of COVID to actually reassess our usage of energy and reassess our utilization of power and energy. We're about to announce a signage of a solar project that we are going to happen here at the center, which will save us around 25% of our solar energy and energy in total. We're also focusing a lot in our green expansion of planets and parks and greeneries around the center. We recently even did different plans of growing more lemon trees, Omani lemon trees around the center. We now occupying also honeybees in the center. So it's part of our focus in creating a cycle of environment that happened just at the center. So from saving energy to utilizing, showcasing the green part of Oman, and then also showcasing the country's natural and nature around the center.
And not just that, I think naturally capturing carbon, which is working towards net zero.
Correct.
Well, I commend you on the movements that the OCEC is doing, and I wish you all the best for the future. And I see already that the Green Hydrogen Summit is starting to put its fingers and its effects and its butterfly ripples into everybody. So if you are not actually getting into this green economy right now, you might be missing the boat, because it used to be hype, but now it's definitely a guaranteed hope, and we are urgently moving towards it. Thank you very much, Mr. Saeed Al-Shamfari, the CEO of OCEC, and please do come and check out their features and activities.
Thanks for having us. Thank you.
We are here at the Green Hydrogen Summit, and we have found out that Asyad has a massive future into moving towards net zero and being able to work with sustainable, alternative and renewable energy. But let's find out more about that. With me is the VP of Sustainability at Asyad, Mr. Assam Al-Shaybani. How do you do?
you very much, Fahmi. Thank you
Okay.
very much.
First of all, tell me about your inputs of this Green Hydrogen Summit compared to last Green Hydrogen Summit and the ones you see around the world.
Well, it's a bit different. I've seen bigger than around the world because of the many participants and the hot topics picking up around the world. But for Oman, I think for the region is a very unique one and a very fruitful one. Actually, I see in the first version, and I see a lot of improvement from the first version to this version. So the progress is there. So it definitely is there.
Great progress. Now, how do you compare with how do you compare how global this has felt to compare to the exhibitions that you have seen around the world and the guests that actually came over here? Are you seeing global players in Oman?
Correct. Yes, we see global play because we see a lot of people, companies, and people representing different companies around the world who have actually been here. It also see governments are here as well. So there is a lot of behind the scenes, a lot of G2G discussion on how we can work together. So it has seen a global flavor in terms of the discussion, the presentation, and in terms of participation. And also the president of IEA, because they have done a lot of
Please
presentation.
tell me more about the IEA.
It's an international energy
Okay.
produce a lot, and it become scientific forum where you can see a research or a new development that IEA put into this movement.
And are they here? And you were going to say something about them?
Yes, they are. They were here. They attended many sessions. Fatah Birol, who is the executive director, was supposed to be here, but again, last minute delayed or changed. But again, we have seen many representatives there here in the different sessions. But you see there is a IEA flavors into the whole session.
So this gives us legitimacy around the world and the global eye looking at us right here in Oman. What do you think they'll see looking through the lens of the Green Hydrogen Summit into Oman? What would they see?
Well, they say I think the minister, when in his all speeches on all the discussion forums that he attended, he has set a standard. He set a scene that we are serious into this, and we want to make the green business or the green hydrogen developments in parallel with oil and gas. We have no excuses not to move forward to this direction because we have the other resources needed to be the world leader. So we need to develop it and just move on to it.
And how quick are we going to move on towards this? I mean, this says we're doing the first steps. Are they baby steps? Are they big steps? Is it a marathon towards hydrogen?
I think regulating it or orchestrating it through Hydrom, that's good steps to make it even faster and moving it in systematic and wide steps. And also, maybe now you're doing the RFQs, but again, later on, when you are committed for a project and you have to they will do the project management where you see that how you committed to the milestone, how you deliver to the projects. And I think we don't have only, yes, you can do a project, but we have also a 2030 target, which is 1 million tons of hydrogen.
Yes.
And then we go the 2050, the net zero plan. So all these are already seen target for this kind of business, but now we need to deliver and act on them.
I saw the best thing in the presentation yesterday. See, 1 million tons of hydrogen doesn't make any sense to me unless I know what's the value we're paying. And then I saw a value of $1.45 per kilogram, and a ton has 1,000 kilograms. So we're talking 1,450 per ton. That means if it's a million tons, it's a billion around that range. Is that sufficient? And can we move away from hydrocarbons that might give us more? Or is this a first step towards getting as much income and revenue?
It is first steps towards it. You don't look at it into the Omani market per se yourself,
Okay.
but you need to look at it Oman versus the world. What exactly? The world has a huge demand, and that demand we see it's increasingly from year to year because it's needed for decarbonize the businesses. People just now maybe and just recently in the COP27, they just announced their pledge to net zero. So definitely when they go back and come to the plans, we need more volumes of hydrogen. Where we can get it more. Okay. So they put into the world, this is my demand, my requirement of hydrogen. And that we see the demand is like a moving average. It never stands still. So we'll be seeing that going up. Exponential growth.
Fantastic. So ASEAD is focusing in what areas of renewables, alternatives, and hydrogen and green hydrogen?
ASEAD is going to focus on converting the port into hydrogen valleys. Hydrogen valleys is nothing except like a business areas where you have the hydrogen production come in place, you have hydrogen storage, you have hydrogen users who actually use the hydrogen the port themselves, they will use the hydrogen to decarbonize their operations, the heavy industrial operations. And then also, the last part, Asyad is looking for that we're going to do the either the conversion, either already converted, or we're going to do the conversion within the port where we can ship it internationally. How the shipping mechanism, that will be decided by the project itself.
I'm already understanding that Asyad is almost ready to actually face this green economy that's coming our way, or any kind of transition or conversions that's going on, which congratulations to Asyad for preparing for the future.
Correct.
What about the safety of that future? I'm hearing with ammonia, the battles between ammonia and methanol, but ammonia is more fragile and volatile compared to methanol. So what's the scenario there? How can this be fixed?
So I think all the projects, the hydrogen projects, in order to make them feasible, they need to convert it to a acceptable or feasible way of transporting the hydrogen molecules.
Safely, yeah.
Not safely, but again, the cheaper one. I think the first one.
Economically. Okay.
Economically.
Okay.
So economically, it could be a nitrogen, extracting nitrogen from air, then converted to ammonia. It's the cheapest technology available. The hardest one is that you're buying CO2 and then converting to a methanol, or capturing CO2 and then converting to a methanol. That's a little bit higher on the cost side. Okay. But we've the shippers, we prefer methanol rather than ammonia because of the safety reason.
Yes.
Ammonia is corrosive. Could be. The shippers use the word that's a silent killer because it's a was minor leak. It might kill the complete ship crew. But again, there is a safety around it. Although it's widely traded now, but we see that exponentially you're going to increase. The production will be increased 6 times to 3 times to 6 times fold in the coming next 10 years. That puts a lot of pressure on the shippers because they need to apply more safety standards. Ammonia is corrosive, so even from storage point of view, we need a high standard storage, a high metal storage that can do. So ships and even the way you handle it, that requires a high standard way. Comparing to methanol, methanol is environmentally friendly. People love it, and people who actually, the shippers who actually transport methanol now said is far away but cheaper. But again, the production of it is that matters.
Okay, so we are in Oman focusing more on ammonia, and it's just a matter of cost versus safety. And I guess it's going to take time because the safety element and the technology of that, and to make it cheaper, is also going to come in time.
I think. Not in Oman. I think the world itself, there is a big fight on what derivative that the final carrier that will be, either ammonia, methanol, liquid organic carrier, or a liquid form of hydrogen itself. So there is a lot of studies, a lot of even shipbuilders, they go into different school of thought. Recently, we heard that there is a shipper building a ship to transport liquid hydrogen. There are 2 ships on order for that. So we're interested to see, this is really
interesting,
good in the market.
Yeah.
We know Japan prefer liquid organic carrier because they are the first shipper actually have done it. And they see the value for that, or because they have extraction in the port ships, they can do that business with them.
Interesting case studies actually coming
Absolutely,
your way, and I'm sure Asyad is paying attention to all of these to be able to figure out which one they're going to invest in.
The newly addition that Asyad look into is that the MOU that we have signed with Maersk, Sumitomo, we're partnering with the OQ, and look into it, which vector will be with the winner, and then we convert that one to fuel for the ships, either ammonia or methanol. So we're actually contributing international studies where we can see where exactly landing. So we have a first-hand on information, first-hand on quantity, and maybe first-hand on production as well.
I've interviewed Najla Jamali, the CEO of Alternatives in OQ, and I've asked how will the people handle this. She mentioned that this will be a seamless transition with the people, and mostly will be electrical from their side. So my question is, there's 2 points. There's the industry side, and then there's the people side. Who are going to be the first off-takers that we're going to be dealing with? Who will be taking it out? When I interviewed the CEO of the port of Duqm, Mr. Reggie, he mentioned that they're working with the port of Antwerp because there's a huge cluster in Europe of Belgium, Holland, Germany that potentially could take all the hydrogen that's going on here in Oman. How's it looking, and how soon can all of this happen?
So I think that the key challenge that all the developer have is the off takers. Okay, so who will take the quantities of produce ammonia or hydrogen, and then what exactly they use it for? Because still the industry is in the first infant steps. So the earlier developer, who actually they are the off takers. But again, the quantities will be increased in a year to come. Then you need to secure who will take the extra volumes. For example, mainly ammonia now is used for fertilizer, but people are gearing up or changing their systems to use more ammonia. So that time they will increase the quantities of volume. Port of Antwerp, I think all the European ports exactly doing that. There is new industries in Europe actually converting from the normal fossil fuel to greener fuel, either hydrogen or ammonia or methanol, but they move into that direction. And then they try to secure quantities that come in sync at the right time to commission this installation for them.
Timing.
So time is important. So by the time they're ready, they need to secure volumes. So it's like complete jigsaw you complete. So you'll be right for your operation.
That's
and
how
right
it's looking
for,
right now. That's why it's very mysterious and a bit vague on what directions to go. But this leads me to where in the past can we see an example of massive energy transition? Is it from coal to oil? Is it from fire to coal? Is it from from hydrocarbons to LNG? Which is the most closest metaphor that we can
I think
use?
the closest one is we linked to LNG itself.
Okay.
Because there was a lot of scarcity about LNG, how we move it to a liquid and how we store it. So when the LNG started, I think people were hesitant, exactly the same thing we do now. But again, with a lot of study developments, LNG have thrived the business and then become a good contributor. Even LNG, I think, will be even last longer than fossil fuel or the oil-based products. But again, LNG, I think we're going to be there for 10, 15, 20 years maybe. They will last longer till it's fade away with the development of hydrogen.
So the transition to LNG that has happened, maybe pipelines, maybe the setup, maybe the value chain, that's roughly what's going to happen with the hydrogen. So you guys kind of know the steps that you're going to do. It's making it cheaper and actually figure out how to make it as safe as possible is the issue right now, to make it the time and to make it scalable, I presume.
Absolutely,
Those are the three
absolutely,
issues,
yeah. That's scalable.
Okay. What is the best thing that you have seen from this exhibition in these 2 days or 3 days?
See, we going global, not the international flavors.
Fantastic, number one.
Has grown up to be an international player. People look at Oman with serious. I think some of the discussion seriously have seen that there are government to government. So the government's looking to Oman as a serious enabler for this business. That's why you see the government to government discussions. And then I see that the quality of papers presented in the technical sessions are really touching the hard points. So discussing a lot of technicality, and then there is a lot of students intake because they need to see this is coming in the market. And I think the new wave of next generation of studies that will be in the technicality and how you utilize hydrogen and its derivatives.
Yes, it's massive. You actually hit a point. Many young students are actually getting into hydrogen way more than I actually saw the acceptability for hydrocarbons and fossils. So it's very, very good for the future. And I'm sure that with their tech minds, they're actually going to come in with apps and solutions of the points that we have mentioned here so far. So all the best to the future generation of Oman, the current generation of Oman who will be in the future. And to be honest, the color of this transition is green. It's looking beautiful. And I guess that here with the VP of Sustainability who's giving us all of the inputs that we can, we're understanding more of what this journey will entail. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Fahmi.
Osama Shibani.
Pleasure again to see you.
We'll have the next interview. Stay with us. Welcome back. We are at the Green Hydrogen Summit. This is the second day, and we're seeing a lot of movement of movers and shakers and leaders and actually students that are actually going on. And we have one of the moderators of this event, Dr. Yusuf Al-Balushi, who is the founder of Smart Investment Gateway. Hello, welcome, and thank you for being on the show.
Thank you. Pleasure.
Okay, so we shall start with the first question. Let me ask, I think everybody's really thinking because they're within the mode of hope and hype, and it's definitely shown that with this event that we're moving definitely towards urgency of making this hope become a reality. But despite hydrogen and what's going on, when are we going to see this materialize?
Yeah, this is an important question. I mean, no doubt. I mean, we all agree that Oman progressed nicely in the last 5 decades. And I think there is a clear roadmap in 2040, and we are moving ahead. However, I mean, talking about opportunity either in hydrogen or in fishery or in mining or in any other sector is something, and make it happen something else. So I think there is, although Oman has all what it takes to succeed in materializing the opportunity on hydrogen and in other sector, we have also a long way to go in terms of taking the opportunity to the level where it will be acceptable to the investor and shareholders to take the final investment decision. As you know, I mean, investors and shareholders has different objectives. I mean, for example, government, leader in the industry, they are looking.
Leading banks.
Yeah, they are looking for, let's say, environmental concern. They are looking for job creations. They are looking for diversifications. However, investors, shareholders have less attention to all those objectives. You know what they are looking for.
This is real, what you're telling me. Yes.
Yeah, they are looking for maximizing the profit. They are looking for their break-even point. They are looking for more clarity on the demand side, on the supply side. They are looking to overall ecosystem. So that is what where Oman really need to focus to make the investment decision being taken. And I think we are working hard on that.
Great.
Government, I mean, particularly here, Ministry of Energy and Minerals, trying to have a unify and try to facilitate and try to really be bold on attracting investment on hydrogen. And Oman is, I think, ready.
Okay, so this is the core of anybody's problem, is getting finances into what's going on. With the Green Hydrogen Summit, it's acting as a catalyzer to be able to make investors see that this is the right place to go. In fact, I have seen the Undersecretary being very prudent and firm with all his decision and being able to say, let's move at this very fast. That is very clear. Hydrome has shown that 170 plus requests coming in, 39 almost acceptable, 4 in the end were acceptable. How did it look for them, and does it fit what we're saying right now for the process of hydrogen to happen?
Yeah, it's not going to be an easy journey. There is a lot of challenge. And, you know, we are not talking about conventional or traditional investment. We are talking about hydrogen. And, you know, a lot of your maybe audience, they don't know much about it. I mean, there is different color of hydrogen, blue hydrogen, and, you know,
Even its safety, even how it's used or how it's made.
However, we need really in the first spot to educate and to give awareness about it and how it add to the transitions of the country in the coming stage. What will be the impact on the even individuals in terms of job creations or in terms of the environmental concern? So I think we are moving, but we need to speed up as usual.
So are we ready for hydrogen? Are we ready for renewables? Are we ready for alternatives? And what does it take?
Yeah, we are ready, but you know, I mean, we also suppose not to wait until to be completely ready.
Agreed. The waiting thing we have seen so much doesn't do anything.
Yeah. I think we have the basic element required for hydrogen to move. This is a new paradigm shift, and if we enter early to this game, we will win.
This is more like a transitional shift that is happening immediately and right now. And we're talking industry, and then we're talking also from the people's perspective.
Absolutely.
So if one side is the industry that's actually going to prepare this, how will we know that the people's side is ready for it? Shouldn't it work in conjunction and simultaneously?
Indeed, that's why we need more of awareness. You know, we need more of educating the people. I mean, this is a new paradigm.
Yes.
And we are lucky to start Oman Vision 2040 start 2021, and we are having the same start. So that could be one of real engine of growth for our future.
Absolutely. It does align very well and in service of the Vision 2040. In fact, it makes people, it might speed up the process of them understanding the vision by them understanding the economics of the hydrogen.
Absolutely.
That's coming in
And
right
we
now.
need to be very close to the global trend. This is
Yes.
the global trend now.
So this is different. This is no longer a local game where we hear each other. We have to keep our ears and actions in touch with every global player around the world to know what moves we're going to be making next.
Absolutely.
So then this leads to how can Oman be the greatest global player out there and the biggest green hub?
See, Oman historically used to play really a significant role in the international trade. And we used to be an active partner and players on the supply chain. However, because of oil, because of the rental economy, we really laid
That was
down.
before a different paradigm shift, and now we're dealing with this paradigm shift.
Yes, and we hope really to be active enough to be part of this new paradigm shift. I mean, Oman can be an active player, not only in hydrogen, on any other sector.
Absolutely.
I think we have, particularly when it comes hydrogen. I mean, the condition is met here in Oman. We have a
And
great.
that's our massive advantage.
Yeah, we have a huge area, a vast area, and we have good winds. We have also good water.
And we have been environmentally friendly for the last 40 years.
Absolutely, and we have a lot of international friends where we can join hands and bring them in to materialize this.
The future looks bright and it's fantastic. This paradigm shift, just so I can be able to explain it to people, it's the mindset shift to prepare for what's coming your way, whatever it is. And in this case, the paradigm is called green hydrogen, which means being as environmentally friendly as possible.
Yes, this is among. I mean, there will be different paradigm. This is an important one.
And it's happening right now. We thank Dr. Yusuf Al-Balushi, who is the founder of Smart Integrated Gateways, Smart Investment Gateways, and we thank him for all the insights that hopefully you have got some knowledge that you need. And if you need more, this is the Green Hydrogen Summit that is happening right now, and you are able to check it out on YouTube or LinkedIn. Thank you very much, Dr. Yusuf.
Thank you for having me.
Welcome and good day. We are at the Green Hydrogen Summit that actually has a very holistic approach. It's not about the investors coming in or the bankable projects or getting bank over. We're actually focusing on somewhere else. Let's find out what that is. With me is Mr. Ismail Al-Sawafi, the Director General of Corporate Social Responsibility and Public Relations of Oman LNG. How are you involved with this exhibition?
Well, thank you, Fahmi, for giving us this opportunity to showcase Oman LNG involvement in the Green Hydrogen Summit. Basically, Oman LNG is privileged and to sponsor the Future Energy Leaders program, where we can enable our students to be part of the emerging industry of the green hydrogen in Oman and provide them with a platform to showcase their research work in the renewable energy and the green hydrogen energy. In addition to the enabling the students to showcase their research work, we are also providing them with a platform to do a good networking with the professionals in the industry and the peers so that they can take this on board in their future endeavor at their career life.
There's many questions about this. One is from the angle of the people who are actually going to approach them in the platform that you have created. How do you help them at that? Because I'm sure it's not only their job. And two, the students themselves. Are they picked? Do they come to you? How is this done? And how can future people be actually communicating with you guys for them to try and be within this Future Leader program?
Well, part of the preparation for the summit, a committee was established to address this program, where they approach different universities, both local and international. Oh, wow. And they shortlisted 50 submissions from different universities and colleges. They did a filtration for those 50 submissions, and they shortlisted 10 research papers. And those 10 research papers are, with the students involved in it, are actually exhibiting their work in the stand. The idea is that those students will be able to present their research project to different professionals, different guests and visitors to the summit and the exhibition, and seek an opportunities for them to be hosted or promoted, for them to continue with the investment opportunity, to continue with the prototyping and maybe commercializing their research paper.
How do you attract people to the booth? or let even the right investors come into it? Do you have a hand or a part into helping them out with this?
Well, we use our network just to invite other players in the industry from our side, and also the event organizer are doing tremendous job in actually attracting different representatives of the industry just to come listen to the students, the amount of enthusiasm the students have, so that it might attract those professionals in the industry to at least host them and maybe incubate them as well.
How is it looking so far?
Well, from the way I see it, the level of involvement and the number of people getting into our stand, the students' stands actually, I can see that there are promises. Hopefully tonight at the closing ceremony we'll be announcing the best three winners in this competition.
So this transcends more, and they can actually get more eyes looking at them, and more maybe green cash helping out with this green economy that's coming our way. Is this the first time this has been done?
This is the first edition of this program.
Okay.
I mean, going forward, hopefully in the coming edition, we can move to the next step of actually looking not only at the students giving their research work and presenting it, maybe a collective approach and collective support from the whole industry involved in the summit, to provide them with the support to do a prototyping for their research work, and maybe provide them with a seed fund.
Yes, we might be seeing the next Elon Musk come out of here. Who knows?
Inshallah.
Well done. I really approve, and I congratulate you on this move and this platform created for something that could be massive. All you need is one good hope of a student coming over, and that's employable for maybe half the nation. Who knows? Then that's the right target to actually.
Exactly, Fahmi, and thank you for the opportunity to showcase this participation. And as we started the interview, it's an emerging industry in Oman, and hopefully the sky is the limits for us. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Actually, look beyond the skies, because there are footsteps on the moon. That's the best thing I can say. Plus, any tips to anybody getting into this? If you can't explain it to a 5-year-old, you can't understand it. So make sure your presentation is not complicated. Try and simplify it so the world understands what you are trying to sell and your value. And of course, team up with Oman LNG. You know the sir. You know what you have to do. Thank you very much for involving yourself with the Green Hydrogen Summit. Really, thank you very much, Mr. Ismail Al-Sawafi and Oman LNG for actually doing these first steps, that hopefully many companies can follow your footsteps.
Thank you, Fahmi, again for giving us the opportunity to showcase this effort. Thank you.
And thank you for giving us the opportunity of watching this, and we shall see you at the next report.